So you've been thinking of moving to Johor, and everyone has an opinion, right? In case you're new here, we're a family from Singapore with 2 young children who have been living in Johor for the past 1 year. In this video, I'm debunking 5 of the biggest myths about moving to Johor as a Singaporean, based on real, first-hand experience, not rumors. First, a disclaimer. Everything in this video is based on our personal experiences and opinions, our preferences and our lifestyle. Moving to Johor is not for everyone, and it's not intended for everyone, and it is totally okay if living here is simply not for you. Now let's get straight into the video. Myth number 1. Johor is unsafe. This one comes up all the time. People say Johor is dangerous, that your car will get stolen or you will get robbed. But honestly, this fear is blown way out of proportion. Are there crimes? Yes. Just like anywhere else in the world, even in Singapore. But let's talk about context. If you're staying in a gated and guarded development in well-developed areas like Horizon Hills, Eco Botanic or in Sunway, these places have 24/7 security, and neighborhood police are always patrolling the area in the day and at night. The security guards from your development will also frequently patrol your area. And of course, use your own discretion when you are out and about. Because it's gated and guarded, no random persons can enter unless given permission by a resident. This includes Shopee or Grab deliveries. Most of the time, when Shopee does come, they will be escorted by the security guards. So in this sense, it's super safe. You won't get anyone trespassing your house. If you go for apartments like condo developments, that's just as safe because there is security. But I can't speak for houses that are not guarded though. And just to add, I've walked around in the evening, gone grocery shopping late at night, and felt completely fine, alhamdulillah. Apart from Singaporeans, there are many nationalities who live here with their families. Within our township, we have neighbours from all over: South Korea, Japan, Middle East, United Kingdom, and even families from South America and other parts of Europe. That alone says a lot. But if you're still unsure, there's an article in June 2025 stating that they will increase police presence at 7 key areas in Johor, making it a safe place for everyone to visit. Moving on to myth number 2. Singaporeans only move to Johor to save money. Literally, a lot of people genuinely think the number 1 criteria for Singaporeans moving to Johor was to save money. I mean, I see it on threads, on Instagram Reels, people literally go, "Oh my god, is it really because can't survive in Singapore, that's why I need to move to Johor? Move back to parents' house lah." I don't deny that certain things in Malaysia are considerably more affordable as compared to the rest of the world, especially if you're earning a salary in Singapore or outside of Malaysia. Example, water bill is pretty affordable. For a little bit of context, we save over 90% of water alone. Some Singaporeans certainly save money on other necessities, and many of them move to Johor to stretch their dollar. But for us, in many ways, this move was not primarily to save money. For example, groceries. We typically buy our groceries from Jaya Grocer or Ben's Independent Grocer, and we buy a lot of organic produce. This is just our personal preference because one of the reasons for moving here is to feed our bodies with good, high-quality food, taking care of our health a little better. So we buy a lot of high-quality meats such as grass-fed Australian beef, free-range eggs, and because our kids love eating tofu, we buy organic tofu. So in terms of groceries, we spend pretty much the same as we would in Singapore. It's just that in Singapore, we don't buy organic. So the push here isn't for cheap living, it's for high-quality living. The same goes for housing or rent. Say you pay $3,000 rent for a flat in Singapore, that same amount can get you a bigger space with facilities and amenities. Again, in this case, you're not technically saving any money, but you get more for your money, and of course, there are options for more affordable housing. But cost aside, what matters more to some Singaporeans who move to Johor is not the cheap living. Here, it's about upgrading your lifestyle. If I wanted to save money, I probably wouldn't go for organic groceries, and more importantly, I would have waited until my children completed secondary education. Then I wouldn't need to fork out money for international school fees. Which brings me to my next point, myth number 3. Education in Johor isn't great. Here's another disclaimer. This video isn't about national schools in Malaysia. Since this video is targeting Singaporeans or anyone outside of Malaysia, we are talking about international schools. And I believe most foreigners would choose to send their kids to an international school if they move to Malaysia. Of course, it really depends on what schools you're looking at. Not all international schools are the same in terms of curriculum or quality. The one our son goes to, in our opinion, is very well-rounded, globally minded education with strong academics, and the teachers are amazing and provide personalized support. I mean, hear me out. I'm going to read part of my son's report and you can guess what subject it is for. Where is it? Are you ready? He confidently throws and catches with accuracy, even when under pressure or on the move. Next step is to challenge yourself with moving target games or reaction-based tasks to maintain sharpness and control. He shows excellent agility and balance, changing direction quickly and efficiently during movement tasks. Next step is to extend learning with competitive agility-based games that require rapid decision-making and precision. Did you guess that right? That was for PE. I mean, to me, it's kind of amazing to make such observations like that. And if this is the quality they provide us for PE, you can only imagine the kind of support they offer for other more important subjects. To Singaporeans, that is. Our son turned 7 this year, and the subjects he studies are quite vast. We have science, history, geography, and if you're Muslim and this might be attractive to you, they even have Islamic studies. The lessons are pretty fun and engaging, and the school has a lot of facilities to encourage that. The classmates are very diverse, a lot of East Asians, particularly Japanese and South Koreans, but there are Middle Easterners and Caucasians too. So it's a very diverse and inclusive culture. These schools aren't just about textbooks and memorization. There are lots of not just individual work, but also group work and presentations. Lots of critical thinking exercises and confidence-boosting lessons. Lots of questionings and curiosity. In fact, they even grade the students on cognitive skills and interpersonal skills. To be honest, we were surprised that the curriculum is more advanced compared to Singapore. For example, what an 8-year-old does in math in Singapore is what a 7-year-old is learning in Johor. This is not to say that it's more stressful here. With proper guidance and fun lessons, the students somehow grasp the topics quickly. And the schools definitely encourage parents' involvement. Oh, and by the way, swimming is part of the curriculum. So yes, we don't enroll our son for swimming classes outside of school. And yeah, that's graded too. Since sending our son to school here, we have seen changes in his character for the better. He is more inquisitive and is not afraid to clarify his doubts in class. There is also no homework for the most part. It's now July and we are starting summer break soon, and he has had 2 homeworks so far in this year. Yeah, I know, right? And like I said, summer break is starting soon, and this time they gave homework, but this is what they said. Okay, so on Class Dojo, this is what they said. Attached is a set of summer math practice activities for your child to work on during the holiday. These activities are not compulsory, but are highly encouraged to help keep them learning going over the break. That's for math. It's the same thing for science and English, so dear parents, attach some summer science practice activities for students to do over the holiday. It is not compulsory, but highly encouraged. Students will get 5 dojo points if return completed in August. Thank you and enjoy your holiday. It's not compulsory. So the key word here is not compulsory. Now, not having homework may not be a good thing for you. Some parents prefer having homework daily, so it's really up to you if this is the kind of education system you want for your kids. Having said all that, this isn't to compare with public schools in Singapore. This is merely to debunk the myth that education in Johor is not great. So I don't know, let us know in the comments what you think. Do you think the education in international schools here are subpar to what you get in Singapore? Next is myth number 4. The traffic is always bad. You've probably heard horror stories, 2 to 4 hour jams at the border. Oh my god, waste time only. But here's the thing, it's all about timing and being traffic savvy. The people who are complaining about the traffic are usually the people who tend to cross the border on the weekends for their grocery runs. And these aren't the people you should be listening to, because their view of the traffic is mostly limited to the weekend peak periods. We're heading to Singapore today and we just passed the Malaysia side. We're at the Tuas checkpoint, so we're heading towards Tuas checkpoint right now. And there was no queue at the Malaysian side. According to the app right now, the checkpoint app, it says to go to Singapore via Tuas, it takes 15 to 25 minutes. So we'll see when we're at the Singapore side whether it's a lot of traffic or not. Right now it's 8:29 a.m. on a Tuesday and we are currently here just waiting in the queue. There's only one lane, by the way, but later on it will split. See, it splits here, one on the right, one on the left. Okay, so I should stop filming, but I will let you know when I get to the counter at what time. Right now it's 8:30. Okay, so right now it's 8:37 and we are on our way to our destination in Singapore. But right now, to Tanjong Pagar it takes 40 minutes with a very long jam here in AYE area. So just to recap, 8:30 AM we were at the Malaysian side, and then 8:37 or 8:38 PM, 8:38 AM right now we already passed the Singapore side of the border. So it only takes a few minutes. This is on a Tuesday morning. The part that will take most of your time is the traffic in Singapore. It's not the jam at the border. So as you saw right now towards Tanjung Pagar MRT station, it takes 40 minutes and with a very long jam at AYE. So that's the reality if you leave on a Tuesday morning. So my suggestion for you is, before you make your move to Malaysia, if that is part of your plan, book an Airbnb or a hotel, whichever, for a week, and make sure during this week you head to your office on a daily basis. And then you see how you feel about the commute. Was there a jam? Which part of the jam that you didn't like? The border side or the jam in Singapore? And then you can decide for yourself to see whether the journey to Singapore is worth it or not on a daily basis. When I was working in Biopolis and I lived in Tampines, it took me an hour and a half to go to work and then an hour and a half to come back. It's also probably because at that time there was no new MRT lines. You know that MRT line, I think it's called the downtown line, the dark blue line. That one, there wasn't any of that. So I had to take the northeast line. East-west line, sorry, the green line. I had to take the green line, drop off at Outram Park, and then from there go to Biopolis, to Buona Vista. So it took me an hour and a half. And now here, from door to door to where I'm heading to next, it's gonna take me an hour max. I'm heading to the east side of Singapore, to quite far east in Singapore. So and it's only gonna take me an hour max. So an hour from Iskandar Puteri to the far east side of Singapore versus Tampines to Buona Vista, an hour and a half. I'll take an hour on the road any day. But that's just my opinion. That's why I said you guys can come here and try it out for yourself and see whether you are able to take that commute on a daily basis. So we just drove by my previous workplace in Biopolis just now. It's currently 9 AM. And previously, when I was working in Biopolis, I didn't reach work at 9 AM. I reached work at 9:30 AM. So this is still okay because I'm definitely still gonna be on time for work when I leave my house at about 8:20 AM in Iskandar Puteri. And this is the current traffic that we're dealing with right now to go to the far east side of Singapore. Very slow traffic on both sides. But let me be real with you guys. If you're crossing at 7:30 AM on a Monday from Johor to Singapore, of course you're gonna get jammed. But if you plan around peak periods and don't follow the crowd, you'll be surprised. We use apps like checkpoint.sg and check Google Maps for live traffic updates. If you time your commute for late mornings or early afternoons, it's smooth sailing. Now, this isn't to say everyone can do this or has flexible working hours. So again, that's where you have to decide for yourself if this makes sense. If you need to be in the office by 8:30 AM and your work culture is particular about punctuality, then you may have an unpleasant experience. Even worse if you still prefer your kids to go to school in Singapore, because I can only imagine how early the whole family has to wake up to facilitate all that. But the myth is still a myth. Traffic isn't always bad. I mean, you watched my experience crossing the border on a Tuesday morning. If I was still working in Biopolis, I'd still make it in time, and I didn't need to leave that early. And personally for us, we prefer going via Tuas rather than Woodlands. It's not only nearer to where we live in Iskandar Puteri, it's also less crowded for the most part. There are some days that Tuas checkpoint will normally be more crowded, for example on Friday afternoons. This is the time some people are driving up north for their holidays, and this is also the time the Muslim male immigration officers are on their Friday prayer break. But once you know the tricks, you know when to avoid, and the traffic then becomes very smooth, and you will soon realize there's nothing to fuss about. And that brings me to my last point, myth number 5. I live in Iskandar Puteri, not in Johor Bahru, and many people wrote in to me saying, Iskandar Puteri got nothing. You go by Tuas, Tuas so far leh. Iskandar Puteri like ghost town one. No? So again, myth number 5, Iskandar Puteri is dead. If you're expecting Orchard Road on a weekend or Tampines Central at 7 PM on a weekday, then sure, you'll be disappointed. But let's keep it real. Iskandar Puteri is peaceful, well-planned, and has everything you need. Malls, clinics, grocery stores, hospitals, international schools, cafes, all within reach. If I need to go to a major grocery store, I can even choose to walk if I want to. The other day, I went for a facial. I walked. It took me only slightly more than 5 minutes. In fact, I can even go to a fine dining restaurant just a 15-minute slow drive away. So back to the main point. Some people want the quiet. They moved here for that reason. Less traffic, less noise, less crowd, more space, more peace. But if you want the crowd, just drive 20 minutes to JB Central or Mid Valley South Quay. Easy. So there you go, 5 myths debunked. If you've made it this far, hit that like button. Let us know in the comments which myth surprised you the most. We hope this video was helpful and made you get a better idea of what life is really like in Johor and what you can expect. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. If you like this video and want to know more about living in Johor, give us a like, subscribe and share this video, and we will do more videos on life in Johor. See you in the next one. Everything in this video is based on our personal experiences and opinions. This is just... Oh my god. So who said Iskandar Puteri doesn't have anything? This is in Iskandar Puteri. We're at this kind of like a fine dining place. Very beautiful, very serene, very quiet. Everything that we enjoy. Yeah.